Hey friends, it is Wednesday, October 18th. Bad news is you're not in class. The good news is, excuse me, I got a little of that cold going around. The bad news is you're not in class. The good news is you know where to go for help. So this is what we're doing on Wednesday, October 18th. We're looking at Chapter 2, How Can I Add Signed Numbers? So remember that we finished up with Cecil and the tightrope walkers, and then we started moving positive numbers added to negative numbers, right? And then we started talking about zero pairs. Like if you go 5 plus 3, add a -8, you come back to where you started from. You come back to the original place. And then we started talking about absolute zero. We're going to start talking about our absolute value. We're going to talk about absolute values today. And what we're talking about is an absolute value. When you see the brackets for absolute value, what it means is it doesn't matter which direction you are from zero. It's just how far are you away from zero. So if we had -10, it's 10 units from zero. And positive units, or positive 10 is 10 positive units from zero. But when we talk about absolute value, all they care is you're 10 away. Okay, so we'll talk about that and what that looks like. Our learning target for today is we will use a new model to develop understanding of adding integers further. And our success criteria is, can you use integer tiles? And in our case, we're using disks. And can you see how integer tiles or disks are similar to Cecil's tightrope? Okay, so what we're going to do is start with our FastBridge warm-up. And then from there, we're talking about absolute value. And then we're going to look at 3 group problems. So I'm going to give you a minute to read it, a minute to process it, and a minute to talk it over in your groups. And then we're going to share for 246, 247. If you hear scratching right now, Harry is kind of playing with the microphone. Harry is the cat, the long-haired cat. Okay, so, and here he comes. You can probably see his tape. Oh, there he goes. So let's talk about how you get back into your ebook. Remember what I do. I go to CPM Math, and from there I click on More Math for More People, and then from there I go to Login. Now, if you're on your Chromebook, everything should be okay. Like you should have your username and password intact. If you're not on your Chromebook, you may have to remember your username from school and your password. But I'm going to click on Login again, and now since I've already logged in, I can go to my Google G, and we are, excuse me, we're getting into our ebook, and I'm under Johnson TH, mpsd.school, and then from there we go to ebooks, and we're course 2. And we said we're on 2.2.3. So the problems we're going to look at from yesterday are these problems. Making zeros. So we're going to have somebody read it, a minute to think about it, a minute to share. Making zeros. For Cecil's newest act, he starts out at point A on the left end of his tightrope. He walks on the tightrope, turns around, sometimes many times, and then he ends up back at point A. Work with your team to write at least 3 expressions that show how Cecil could move and still end at point A. Build 3 more expressions similar to the expression you wrote. For your 3 expressions, do one with 2 numbers, one with 3 numbers, one with 8 numbers. What do your expressions all have in common? Then we're going to go to this one. Someone's going to read it. We're going to think about it for a minute and then share with our group. Sally lives in North Dakota where the winter temperature is often below 0. One day the thermometer read 10 degrees below 0, but it rapidly rose 15 degrees in 1 hour as a warm front moved in. Then it dropped 15 degrees as night fell. What is the resulting temperature? Draw a diagram to represent the scenario. Then we're jumping to 249. Read it, process it, share it, write it down. Consider Cecil's movements on the tightrope as you answer the question. What happens when Cecil goes 5 feet forward and then goes back 5 feet? Where does he end up? Chad decided to record Cecil's moves with the diagram at the right. Explain what you think this drawing means. Using the same strategy, Chad recorded a different set of instructions for Cecil with the diagram shown at right. What could this diagram represent? How long is the tightrope if these moves end at point B? Okay? Ooh, this is going to be fun. Then when we get done with that, I'm going to walk around and I'm going to distribute discs onto each table, and everybody's going to take a handful. And I just want to know, how many do you have? Right? So you're going to have some positives and some negatives, and then who has the most. Then we're going to play a game called Win a Row. And in Win a Row, here are the directions for the game. And we'll talk about that. But basically the game is like this. So I'm clicking on the tool, and I go, and then another person goes, and then I go, and then another person goes. And we just keep going back and forth until all these are filled. Okay? And then what we do at the end, after everything is filled up, is we add up the rows and we add up the columns. And if it's a positive value, the person with the yellow tiles wins. And if it's a negative value, the person with the red tiles wins. So this one is 1. Take away 1, that's a 0. Take away 5 plus 3, so that's a negative 2. So red, well, my negative doesn't work. There we go. So red would win that row. And then this one, 8 plus 5 is 13. Subtract 3 is 10, plus 6 is 16. So, get the idea? And then we go through and we determine who the winner is going to be. So now we have a negative 5, subtract 7 is negative 15, negative 21, negative 21 plus 4, that's a 17, so that's a positive winner. So far, if we looked at the rows, red won this one, yellow won this one, yellow won this one, yellow won this one. Now let's go down this way. This is going to be, well, I see 8 and negative 8 make a 0. And then we have 1, subtract 4, that's negative 3. So red would win this one. And this one looks like that's a 0. 7 plus 4 is 11. Yellow wins that one. That's a 0. And 2 subtract 7 is negative 5. Okay. And in this one, they cancel, negative 3. So if we looked at the columns, red wins, yellow wins, red wins, red wins. And if we look at them all, we have red, 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 yellow, 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 yellow. And then there's a tiebreaker. I think the tiebreaker says if the two players tie after adding the columns and the rows, find the sum of the diagonal from top to bottom, left to right. Let's try that. So we go here, 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 here. So that's 1 plus 5 is 6, plus 2 is 8, subtract 6 is 2. So yellow wins the tiebreaker. That's the way the game is played. So we're going to get a your Chromebooks, and you're going to match up with somebody, and we're going to play Win a Row. Okay? After that, we're going to go to 258, and we're going to build some of these expressions. And you can build these expressions two ways. You can use the discs, or we can use the positives and the negatives. So we could use the tool, and we could say, if we have 8 negatives and 2 positives, what do we have? So if we open this up, we could say that we want 8 negatives. 1, 2, 3, 4. Come on. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. And we have 2 positives. So what do we have? And one thing we realized today is that A positive and a negative make a 0. And a positive and a negative make a 0. So we can get rid of those, and we're left with 6 negatives. Okay? Negative 6. Beautiful. Then from there, we looked at 259. And 259 says, think about the problem you have worked out involving positive and negative integers. How would you find the answer to negative 200 plus 14? Without using your calculator, find the sum. Explain your reasoning to your teammates and be prepared to describe your strategy. Finally, given time, we went on to homework 264, 265, and 266. Homework 264. John has a bag of marbles that contain 12 red, 20 green, and 17 blue. If John pulls a marble out of the bag, what is the probability that it will not be red? That is, what is the probability of not red? What is the probability that he will draw a purple marble? That is, what is the probability of purple? If you need help, homework help, then we have to find missing lengths. It goes jump, 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 20. Okay, so how long is this? Then it goes jump, 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 60. How long is this? Last problem. On Saturday, Stella worked for 2 hours helping her mother around the house. She spent 1/3 of her time doing the laundry and 1/4 of her time cleaning and the rest of the time working in the yard. How much of her time was spent in the yard? Show your work. Use a diagram if it helps, or use your homework help to give you a hint. Okay? Friends, that is Wednesday, October 18th. I hope you are feeling well. I hope you're having a beautiful day, and I hope that we see you tomorrow. All right, we miss you. Have a good day.